A spear punches through the air at 40 miles per hour and hits with enough force to crack a car door. Now imagine 300 of them coming at you at once. It's a narrow valley in southern Greece, rocky walls on both sides, one way in, one way out, and 13 US Marines have just rounded a ridge and stopped dead. 300 Spartan warriors are already in formation below them, shields locked wall to wall, 8-foot spears leveled forward, moving uphill in complete silence, not because they're trying to be quiet, but because there's nothing left to say. The Marines have seen combat: Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. They've trained for ambushes, IEDs, close-quarters urban warfare, but nothing in any manual prepared them for this. And the Spartans have never seen a rifle. They don't know what body armor is. They've never heard a grenade go off. Both sides stop. Both sides stare. One side is about to find out exactly how the other one kills. So, what actually happens when the most lethally equipped infantry squad on Earth goes up against the most psychologically unbreakable soldiers in human history? Does modern firepower end this in 30 seconds? Or does something about this valley, this terrain, this specific fight, change the math in ways nobody expects? That's what we're breaking down today. And before we get into it, if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell. We do this every week. Drop a like if you think the Marines dominate this from the first shot. And if you've got a matchup you want to see: Navy SEALs versus Roman legions, World War II infantry versus medieval knights, anything. Put it in the comments right now. The best ideas become full episodes. Alright, because before we run this fight, we need to understand what each side is actually capable of. And one of these sides is going to surprise you. 13 men. That's the entire squad. A standard US Marine infantry squad runs a squad leader, 2 4-man fire teams, and a machine gun team. Each rifleman carries an M27 infantry automatic rifle. It fires 36 rounds before reloading and punches clean through bronze armor at 550 meters. The M320 grenade launcher drops an explosive round into a target the size of a doorway from 350 meters away. Fragmentation grenades shred everything within a 15-foot radius. Interceptor body armor stops rifle rounds cold. And every Marine on that ridgeline is connected to every other Marine through a radio system that makes decisions happen in under 3 seconds. 13 men who can kill at 500 meters before the enemy even knows they're there. Now forget the distance, because the Spartans are already closing it. 300 warriors who don't know what a bullet is, who've never heard a grenade detonate, who have absolutely no framework for what's about to happen to them. And it won't matter. Here's why. The Spartan state didn't recruit soldiers, it manufactured them. The process started at age 7, not with weapons training, but with systematic destruction of everything soft. Boys were taken from their families and fed into the agoge, the most savage military conditioning program ever designed by human beings. 1 cloak issued per year, no exceptions for winter. They slept on reeds they cut themselves from riverbeds with their bare hands. They were deliberately starved and expected to steal food to survive, and beaten not for stealing, but for getting caught. Every night was an endurance test. Every morning was another chance to quit. For 23 years, not one day off. By the time a Spartan lifts a shield in actual combat, he's already outlasted conditions that break most modern soldiers psychologically in weeks. Then, there's what they do with that shield. 300 of them, each one a meter wide and weighing 17 pounds, lock edge to edge into a single bronze wall. Behind each shield, a doru, an 8-foot iron-tipped spear held overhand, driven forward with the full body weight of a man who has spent 2 decades learning exactly this motion. The formation breathes as one organism. The man on your left covers half your body. You cover half of his. If you break and run, you expose him to death. In Spartan culture, returning home without your shield wasn't just dishonor. It was the end of everything you were. This is the phalanx, and in a narrow valley with rock walls pressing in from both sides, it doesn't just work, it becomes almost impossible to stop from the front. History already proved it. At Thermopylae, 300 Spartans held a mountain pass against an advancing Persian force of over 100,000 men. Not for an hour, not for a day, for 3 days straight. 3 days of continuous assault by the largest army the ancient world had ever assembled. The Persians didn't break through because the Spartans were stronger. They broke through eventually because someone showed them a path around. The front never gave. The Marines have the firepower. It isn't close, and we're not pretending otherwise. But the Spartans have something that doesn't appear in any equipment manifest. Every man in that formation has already decided he's willing to die today. Not resigned to it. Willing. They've been told since childhood that death in battle isn't a tragedy. It's the entire point of everything they've done since age 7. 13 rifles, 300 men who don't fear the sound they make. Technology on one side, 2.5 decades of manufactured fearlessness on the other. And the valley just got narrower. The squad leader doesn't hesitate. 3 seconds after cresting the ridge and seeing 300 armed men below, he's already moving his team into position. 2 fire teams spread left and right along the rocky high ground. The machine gun team sets up on a flat boulder with a clean line of sight straight down into the valley floor. Elevation advantage, roughly 40 meters. Distance to the front of the Spartan formation, 220 meters, well inside effective range. This is exactly the terrain Marines train to own. But here's what the squad leader also sees. The valley is 60 meters wide at its narrowest point. Rock walls straight up on both sides. No way to flank, no way to go around. The phalanx fills the entire width of the valley floor, like a cork in a bottle, and it's still moving forward, uphill, directly toward them. Shields up, spears level, completely silent. The squad leader calls the shot. The first burst from the M27 hits the front rank at 220 meters. 3 rounds, center mass, less than half a second. The Spartan in the first row goes down hard. The man behind him steps forward and fills the gap before the echo finishes bouncing off the rock walls. The formation doesn't stop. The Marines open up across the entire line. Controlled bursts, 2 to 3 rounds each, walking fire across the front rank of the phalanx. Spartans drop. The bronze wall shudders. Gaps open. And every single time a gap opens, the rank behind surges forward and closes it. The phalanx is designed for exactly this, absorbing punishment from the front and converting it into forward pressure. 200 meters. The M320 grenade launcher fires. The round drops into the formation and detonates at chest height. The blast tears through 7 men simultaneously. The front rank staggers. Warriors from the second and third ranks press forward instantly, filling the hole before the smoke clears. 180 meters. Then something happens that stops 2 Marines cold. The Spartans start singing. Not screaming, not war cries, singing. The paean, the Spartan battle hymn, performed in unison while advancing into combat. Controlled, rhythmic, locked to the beat of their footsteps. 260 voices moving as one. One Marine lowers his rifle for exactly 1 second before his training pulls him back. Nobody in Quantico ever ran a drill for this. 150 meters. The squad leader calls for concentrated fire on the leading edge. Every rifle, full rate, 1 point of the line. The front rank collapses. The second rank steps over the bodies without breaking stride. A fragmentation grenade arcs down into the valley and detonates inside the formation. Bodies drop. The singing gets louder. 120 meters. Another grenade. The blast rips through packed bronze and flesh. More gaps. More replacements. The formation compresses and keeps moving like something that doesn't know it's supposed to stop. 100 meters. The machine gun opens up. 800 rounds per minute raking across the front of the phalanx, at point-blank range for a heavy weapon. The first 3 ranks come apart in under 10 seconds. The formation stops. 4 seconds of complete silence. Smoke drifting across the valley floor, bodies everywhere. The singing cut off mid-note. Then the ranks close one final time, and the phalanx starts moving forward again. The squad leader does the math he's been running since the first shot. Roughly 40 Spartans down, 260 still standing. His squad has burned through almost a third of their total ammunition in under 2 minutes. The Spartans are 80 meters away, and closing. 70 meters. The squad leader makes the call nobody wants to make. Fall back. Up the ridge, into the rocks, away from the open ground where 300 men with 8-foot spears have every advantage. The Marines move fast, low, spread out, using every boulder and outcropping as cover. They're not running, they're repositioning. The Spartans don't pursue immediately. Instead of charging uphill after the retreating squad, the phalanx stops at the base of the ridge and holds. The formation tightens. Officers move through the ranks. Something is being decided. The Marines use the pause. They count ammunition. Between the two fire teams and the machine gun, they have roughly 420 rounds left, 11 fragmentation grenades, 4 M320 rounds, against 260 men who just absorbed everything the squad threw at them and kept moving. 420 rounds, against 260 men who don't go down easy. The sun drops behind the western ridge. The valley goes dark fast. The kind of dark that has no streetlights, no ambient glow, nothing. Just rock and shadow and the distant sound of the Spartans somewhere below. The Marines switch to night vision. The world turns green, and the Spartans disappear. Not retreat, disappear. The formation dissolves into the darkness in complete silence. 260 men moving through rocky terrain at night without a sound. No flashlights, no noise discipline protocols learned from a manual. Just 23 years of conditioning that included moving through pitch dark as a basic survival requirement from age 12. The Marines hold their position and scan. Nothing on the left flank, nothing on the right. The valley floor is empty. Then, a rock moves on the ridge above them. One Marine spins and fires 2 rounds before he registers what he's seeing. A Spartan scout, alone, has climbed 30 meters up the eastern rock wall in complete darkness with bare hands. Not attacking, watching, mapping every Marine position for the warriors below. There are more of them up there. There have been for a while. The squad leader pulls his men into a tight perimeter, backs against a boulder cluster, fields of fire covering every approach. The Spartans don't come at them the same way twice. Sometime in the next hour, the phalanx stops being a phalanx. The bronze wall that held the valley floor cracks open deliberately. Small groups of 5 and 6 warriors detach and move through the rocks separately. No shields locked together, no spears held overhand in formation, just men with the xiphos, a 2-foot iron blade designed specifically for broken terrain, for tight spaces, for the kind of fight where an 8-foot spear becomes a liability, moving uphill through darkness toward a fixed position they've already mapped from above. The Marines hear them at 15 meters. The first contact is a flash of movement on the left flank. 2 rounds fired, 1 Spartan down. Then another flash on the right, then directly above. The M27 is a weapon built to kill at 500 meters. Right now, it's operating at 10. The machine gun can't track targets moving this fast through this terrain at this range. The grenades go to work. 3 detonations in 30 seconds strobe the ridge white. Spartans drop. More come. The perimeter holds, but it's shrinking. Marines pulling tighter to maintain coverage as attacks arrive from 3 directions at once. Then, the ammunition runs out on the left flank. 1 rifleman down to his Glock 17. 17 rounds. The Spartan who comes over the boulder catches 3 of them and keeps moving until the 4th stops him at arm's length. The perimeter is now a circle 4 meters wide. 9 Marines still fighting, 400 rounds between them, 60 Spartans still pressing from 3 sides. The squad leader gets on the radio that nobody is listening to and calls a position that doesn't exist in this century. There is no extraction coming. There is no air support. There is no resupply. There is only the ridge, the dark, and whatever is left in the magazines currently loaded into 9 rifles. And somewhere below in the valley, the singing starts again. So, who wins? The honest answer depends on one number: ammunition. With full loadout and open terrain, this fight ends in under 3 minutes. 13 Marines at 200 meters, high ground, clean fields of fire. The phalanx never closes the distance. 36 rounds per rifle, 13 rifles, effective range that outreaches every Spartan weapon by 480 meters. They die before they reach the Marines, every single time. But that's not the fight we ran. In a narrow valley, no resupply, no air support, darkness, the technology gap shrinks to almost nothing. The M27 becomes just a very loud spear. The body armor becomes just a very heavy tunic. What's left is 13 men against 260 who have been preparing for exactly this kind of fight since age 7. In that fight, the Spartans win. Not because they're stronger, not because they're braver, not because they had more men, because every night in the Agoge was darker than this ridge. Every morning was harder than this fight. The Marines are elite. The Spartans are something the modern world doesn't have a word for anymore. Men built from childhood with the single purpose of not stopping. The Marines hold the ridge for hours. 9 rifles burning through their last magazines in the dark, taking 2 and 3 Spartans down for every Marine that goes. The exchange is brutal on both sides. But the magazines run dry, and the singing never stops. When the valley goes quiet before dawn, roughly 140 Spartans are still standing, bloodied, exhausted, carrying wounds that would have stopped them at age 6, before the Agoge taught them that pain is just information. Still standing. That's what 23 years of manufactured fearlessness actually buys. Not invincibility, not magic, just the absolute refusal to be the first one to stop. The Marines were never going to lose to spears. They lost to something that doesn't exist in any modern military on Earth. So, different terrain, full ammunition, open ground. Does the answer change completely? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to see what happens when modern weapons meet another ancient army, check out the video on your screen right now. Thanks for watching.